Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Salesforce real-time scenarios. So we are discussing about to the LWC OTT Subscription Mini Project. So in the previous video, we discussed about to the how to display by the login page, and here how to display by the logo. So these are all we built by the in the previous video. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about the first how to create the new account, nothing but the new customer. So, how we are going to create an account for the customer. Let's see the in this video. So, come to the our OTT subscription project, and here we are open to the our VS Studio. Now, I am opening to the I am creating the one new LWC component for this separately. So OTT create account page. So this is the we are going to give it by the page number 2. Okay, we are going to give it by the some order format. Earlier we are given to the login page 1, right? This is the 2. Okay, so here click on to the here we are created the one LWC component for the create account. Now let's come to the here. We are taking the lightning card title new customer details. So here we have to capture by sorry, customer name, email, phone, like that. Okay, now here we are going to use it by the lightning record edit form directly. Okay, so here we have to the object API name. Object API name. Let's go to the our Salesforce or customer details is the our object. So let's pick by the object API name. Click on to the gear symbol. Click on to the edit. So this is the our object API name. Okay. So let's come to the here. This is the object API now. Now we can capture by the first name, last name, email. So that's why lightning input field API name equals to the first name. First we are going to capture by the first name. This is the API name. Similar way we can capture by the last name. So here last name is the we are renamed to the this one. So standard field, name field, name. And next is the here we have to capture by the phone number. Lightning input to field name equals to, so here phone. And next is the here lightning input field name equals to, here we are given to the email. So these are all the fields we are given to the here. Click on to the save. Okay. So up to here we have to display by the fields information like first name, last name, phone, and email. Now after that we need to capture by the these fields information, right? On change we need to capture by the fields information. So how we are going to on change here? On change here we are taking the handle change, same method name we are giving to the all the fields. So save. Now let's come to the here, we have to take it by the handle change method. So here event, save. Okay, so here we are taking the input fields. What are the input fields we are taken? First name, last name, phone, email. When it is the change the value, that purpose, holding purpose, we are taking the HTML in the JS handle change method name. Okay. So now let's see the how to capture by the dynamically. How to capture by the dynamically information. So here we have to take by the customer details is the right. We have to take it by the one object type. So how no we can declare by the object type. So here customer fields. These are all the customer details object, right? Details object fields. This is the object notation. This is the we have the object notation. So why we are taking the object notation means here we can capture by the first name, last name, phone and email. These are all the fields, right? That's why here we have to take it by the object notation. Now let's come to the here on change this of our customer details field. Now we can capture by the dynamically. For example, if we are entered by the name we have to capture. First name we have to capture. Email we have to capture. Okay, here we have the 4 fields only. For example, if we have the 10 fields, 20 fields, how we are going to handle by the dynamically? How to handle by the dynamically means this is the object notation. In the object notation, we can take it by the event to dot. So here target to dot. So we can give it by the each input field, we need to give it by the one ID. Each input field, we need to give it by the ID. That is called the data set, right? Why? Because we are taking the data set. Here we are using the standard lightning input field. We are using the standard lightning input field, right? So instead of the IDs, we can better to use by the data name. So it is the unique, cannot accept by the duplicate. It must be the unique. So we can give it by the API name is the uniqueness. Same we are taking. Same we are taking. Directly we can store it by the here. Directly we can store it by the here. So let's give it to the here. I will show you that is. So data name. So data name again here. This is the phone. And here also be the data name. Email. Sorry. Name, email. Object notation, nothing but the acc.name, acc.phone, acc.rating we are using, right? Same like now here it is the object notation acc only. Now what we are giving the data set name now acc.email, acc.phone equals to our value will be the mapped. Now here we are giving the event dot target dot data set to dot name. Here we are taking the name. Now this is the data set, data ID or data name. We can take it. Data set. Now we are getting the here name. That's why here we are fetching to the name now. That's why here we are giving the name. So equals to event to dot target to dot value. So what happened means here, for example, if we are entered by the name, first name, so it is automatically mapped by the customer dot first name equals to our value. For example, we are given to the Abhi first name like this. So customer dot this is the given by the first name, which is the on change rate. If you are entered by the first name, automatically mapped by the first name. Here what we are enter the value stored by the here. What enter by the value here. For example, now you are going to give it by the name customer details dot name equals to Ram. Okay, like this, we are going to map it by the data for this. For this mapping, like this dynamical, if we are used by the 10 or 100 also, is not an issue. One by one field, we no need to verify and add it. Directly, it is the object notation. In this object notation, directly mapped by the here, this one. So I will show you the here. We have to take it by the console log. So here, customer details fields. So this is the object notation, right? That's why JSON dot stringify. Here we have to take it by the this dot customer detail fields. Customer details fields. Okay, save. So temporarily we have to deploy this. We can give it by the targets. Here, true. Target. So we can close it by the targets. So here target, we are given to the lightning app page. Verifying purpose, we are taking this one, not a required. Actually, this one we are calling into the main component. We are calling into the another component. So temporarily we have to verify purpose. We are taking to this one. Okay. Let's deploy the whole component. So we have to the something. Please visit to the syntax error OTT invalid HTML syntax. So what is that? Where we have here double quotes is the missing. That's it. Email. Okay, let's save and redeploy. Okay, let's come to the here. So temporarily we can add it by in the same page. After verification, we can remove that one. Okay. Just to checking to the how it is working. After that, we can move it by the dynamically. So here, customer details, right? OTT create account page. I'm giving this on the top of now. Temporary we are verification purpose. Okay. So let's save, deploy, save and back to the page. See here, first name, last name, phone, email. These four fields are we are displayed. So we are giving to the Abhi Ram. So phone number. So we are going to give it by the abc@test.com. We are giving this information. Right click onto the here. Right click onto the here. Inspect element. Click onto the here. See here in the customer details. First name is the Abhi. Name is the Ram. Phone, email. So these are all the dynamically we are mapping, right? Without to writing the separately. Here you have to observe in the single line, we can handle by the n number of the fields, one or more. One or more dynamically we are giving the API names. Why? Because means now we are going to save the record, right? New customer information, we need to save it. At the time, field API names is the mandatory. That's why here you have to observe these are all the fields API names. Based on that, we are automatically mapped by our data. Without writing the much code, in simplest way, we can write it by the like this. We can write it by the this way too. We can handle by the n number of the fields. Okay, so now we are entered by the field data. Then we have to save it, right? We have to save it to the here. So that's why here we have to take it by the one button. So here you have to observe existing functionality. So okay, that is the different. So, okay, now here we have to take it by the one button. So here after the record edit form, we are taking the one button. Lightning, button, variant, submit or save, our wish. Okay, label is the submit, variant is the brand. So on click, handle, submit. Okay, so let's save this. So now we have the handle submit method. Come to the here, we have to take it by the submit. Or handle create the new account. Our wish, we can take it by the anything is fine. We are taking the handle submit. So now how we are going to create a record without the Apex class? Without the Apex class, how we are going to create the record? That is the next challenge. That is the next challenging. How to create the record without using the Apex class. So let's see the how we are going to create. First, we have to the import, create, record. This is the standard syntax. Okay. From Lightning UI record API. This is the standard syntax. We are going to create the record. We are going to import by the this one. Then next to come to the here, we have to write by the standard syntax, create record. Okay. So now here we have to pass it by the fields. We have to the pass it to the fields. So that's why here we are taking the this dot our customer details field, customer object fields. No? So this dot customer object fields. So up to here we can directly create the record, but we can identify record is the successfully created or not. Successfully created or not. So that's why here we have to take it to the here. Before going to that, we have to create by one object, right? In which object you want to give it, right? So that's why here we have to take it by the constant variable. So here we have to give it by the full syntax. Actually, here we are only mentioned by the fields, but we need to mention by the object API name also. So here we have to take by the constant customer record equals to object to API name. We have to mention object to API name. This is the standard syntax. What is the object API name? We have the mention the here, right? This is the our object to API name. Object to API name, comma. Now we have to give it by the fields. So here actually we have to give it by our fields. This dot customer fields. So this is the our syntax. Here we have to give it by the object API name, which object you want to create, and what are the fields you have to give it. So this is our customer record. Now we can give it by the here. Both combinations we have to give it by the here object API name and fields. This is also be an object notation. Here if you want to give it by the fields individually, instead of that we are taking the separate one object notation. In that directly we have to hold the field API names and values. That purpose we are taking the here object notation of the field here. Okay, now we can store by the object API name and field value here on change of the here. Now here we have to capture by the object API name and fields. Now we can able to create the record. After that, we need to get the result right. Then it is success or failure. That purpose here result. So here we have to capture by the result. If it is success, come to the then. Otherwise, it come to the catch block. Here we have to capture by the error. So here we have to write it by the console.log of customer creation error. We are capturing that is now. So we have to take it by the error here. Let's save. Let's save this one. Okay. So now here we have the success block. So same also we have to hold it by the console.log creation success. Save. Okay, so what we have did, we can take it by the one object notation again. In this, we are captured by our object APN in which object you are going to save. What are the fields you want to map it? That fields we are tagging to the here. Finally, we are using by the standard functionality create record. Create record. In this, we are given it by the our object. What are the object we are going to create? What are the fields? That is the mention. Once it is successfully created, it come to the then block. Otherwise, it come to the catch block. Otherwise, it's come to the catch block. Let's save this, redeploy. Let's come to the here. We can refresh by the page. So here we have the appear by the submit button. Okay. Let's take to the here. Abhignya Technologies Salesforce. Okay. Now here we are going to give it by the phone number 888-604-7776. So abc@test.com. Let's see the here before going to submit button. So at present, how many records we have in the here we can see 4 records we have. 4 records we have. Now let's see how many records will be the here. After click onto the submit button, click onto the submit. It is successfully created. Let's refresh the page. This one. So here we have to observe ID is the created, but fields is not mapped, I think, properly. Let me check what is the happened to the here. So create a record only, that is the record is created, but fields is not mapped properly. Let me go to the here. Record is the success. Customer detail fields, right? This is the we are using. So everything is correct. Let me check. Okay, sorry. Here we have to use it by the fields, not for the field, right? S is missed fields. Let's redeploy. Let me try again. Come to the here. We have the refresh by the page. So one more time I am refreshing. So here, Abhignya Salesforce. So 888-604-7776. We are given the abc@test.com. Click on submit. Now come to the here. Again, we can refresh by this one. So now here we have the created this one, Salesforce. Right. Last name is the we are giving to the Salesforce. First name is the Abhignya. and test@test.com. This is the phone number. Now it is successfully created. So small thing, just S is missed. That's why earlier it's not properly mapped by the fields. Okay, that's why very careful to write the logic. Fields is we have to give it by the here. Okay, now let's see without writing the Apex class, without using the DML operations. Okay, without using the DML operations, we can create a record from the JS. From the JS, we are writing the create. The record just we imported by this one. Okay, this is no need to require something happened. So this is the create record. Okay, then after that, here we can simple step 2, we can write it by the create a record, same thing. Here what we are using, that is same thing. And here we have to mention by the our object API name and fields. Our object API name and the fields. So already on change of the functionality, we are holding by the fields. Now that fields is the mapping to the here. Now it is coming by the success log. Let's see the here. You go to the here, right click on to the here, inspect element, console log. Here you have to observe it is coming to the success block. Success block. Okay. So like this, we are going to create the record as well. Like this, we are going to create the record as well. And now we have to capture by the record ID, which record is created, right? That record ID, we need to hold it. Why? Because means further reference, we have the required for that ID. So how we are going to hold by that ID? Let's take to the here, one property, customer record ID. This is the our field name, customer record ID. So here we have to take it by the this dot customer record ID equals to result dot ID. Here you have to give it by the small letter ID. It is the standard syntax. It is returned to the what is the record created, right? That record ID, it will be the return. So let me check that is exactly coming or not. Here we have to place symbol, this one ID. We have the further reference purpose. This is ID is the required. That's why here we have to capture by this ID. So how to get it by the created record ID means result dot ID. Result dot ID. Let's deploy this. It is deployed successfully. Let's see. Come to the here. At present, we have the 6 records. Refresh by the page. See here. Okay, one more time we can refresh. So here, Salesforce, a big new. So we are given to the something phone number, something email address. Okay, let me submit. So come to the here. We have the refresh. As of now, we have the 6 records. Let's refresh. 7th records. Okay. Now we are giving to the capital letters, right? Abhignya, SFD, Salesforce. This is the email address and phone number. Let's come to the here. I'm opening to the this record. This is the ID, right? Same ID we can able to capture by the here also. Right click onto this. Inspect elements. Console. See here. Same record ID now. If you go to the here, this is the record ID. How to observe. This is the further reference. We have the required. That's why here we can capture by that record ID. So this is also one of the important point. How to capture the created record ID. Like this. Then result we have to get it by the our successful result. Now in that we have to hold by our record ID. Okay. So like this we can able to create the record and we can get by the created record ID as well. Okay, I hope it's understand how we are implemented by this scenario. We are creating the new customer details information record. That purpose we are taken the separate LWC component. Initially, we are taking the here record edit form. In this record edit form, what are the fields we have the required? That fields we are displayed by the here. After that, we have to enter by the data, right? That data we need to hold, right? That is the on change functionality we are taken. And after that, which field data we are entered, that is the capture purpose dynamically. We have taken by the syntax like this. This is the one of the object notation. In this object notation, we are taking the our field data set. Why? Because we are taking the data set means it is the lightning input field, right? That's why here we are taking the data name. Okay, based on that, we have to capture the what field they are enter API name. Directly we can store by the API name and what we are entered by the value. This is the format. After that, what enter the there? After that, they can submit to right handle submit. We are creating the record. How we are going to create a record? We can import by the create a record. Then we can create the record. We can give it by the in which object you are going to create. What are the fields information we are going to create. That's why here we have to take it by the separate object notation. In this object API name we have to give it. And what are the fields we have to give it. Then here we can create the record. After the creating the record, we need to hold by the result purpose. We have to take it by the result. If it is not creating any errors is throwing, we can take it by the error here. Okay. Try and catch block type. Here we are using then and catch block. So finally, which record is created, that record ID we need to hold right. That record ID we need to hold right. That purpose we are taking the separate property customer record ID. This is the customer record ID. Based on that, we can hold by that record ID. That record ID. Okay. So I hope how we are implemented this one. In the next video, we are going to discuss to the how to give it by the here, how to call for from the here dynamically. Let's see the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you.